Welcome class to the first chapter of Polity Lakshmikrant, Growth of Constitution. So in this chapter, we will discuss about the acts and policies brought by Britishers in two parts. First one is under the Company Rule, which is from 1773 to 1850, and further this we have the Crown Rule in the British India. So let's start. First act is Regulating Act 1773. This is the first act passed by the British Parliament to control and regulate affairs of East India Company in India, and from this act the Governor of Bengal became the Governor General of Bengal, and the Warren Hastings was the first Governor General of Bengal. In this act, an executive council with four members was created for his assistance. An executive council with four members created for the assistance of Governor General of Bengal, and this regulating act made the independent presidencies of Bombay and Madras subordinate to presidency of Bengal. Means these two presidencies of Bombay and Madras became subordinate to Governor General of Bengal, and through this act Supreme Court in Calcutta to be established in 1744, and the structure of the Supreme Court at that time is one Chief Justice plus two judges, and the East India Company required to form a court of directors for reporting its revenue, civil, military affairs to British government, and this strengthened the control of British government under the company's affair in India. So what was the significance of this first act? It was the Regulating Act 1773 was implemented by British government to control the working of East India Company in India, and it was the first step in setting up central administration in India. It was also the first time that the British government realized the administrative and political functions of company. Second act is Pitt's India Act of 1784. This act is after the rectify the defects of Regulating Act 1773, and it is also known as the Act of Settlement. In through this act, the presidencies of Madras and Bombay became subordinate to Bengal presidency. In effect, the Kolkata became the capital of British possession in India. Means the governor councils were established in Bombay and Madras. This act made a distinction between commercial and political functions of company. Means this act made a distinction between the commercial and political activities of East India Company, and company administration was divided into two. First one is Court of Directors, and the second one is Board of Control. In the Court of Director, it was mandated to handle commercial affairs, and system of double government was introduced. And for the Board of Control was established to manage political affairs of India, and it also supervised all operations of civil and military affairs. It regulated the revenues of British possession in India. So again, the significance of this act was that the territories of East India Company were called as British possession in India, and it gave control of company's administration to British government. Next act is Charter Act 1833. So this is the final step towards centralization in British India. So this act, Governor General of became through this act, Governor General of Bengal was made a Governor General of India, and the first Governor General of India was the Lord William Bentinck, and it also deprived the governor of Bombay and Madras and completely, and Governor General of India was given exclusive legislative powers for entire British India. Means through this act, all the different presidencies or the governing councils in the different states or provinces was cancelled, and the entire legislative exclusive legislative powers were handed to the Governor General of India. And Governor General of India was given full control over revenue, civil, and military for administering British possession in India, and the ending of East India Company's commercial activities and making it into the British Crown's trustee in administration India. And through this act to onwards, East India Company became an administrative body, this ending its commercial function in India, and company's trade links with China were also closed, and this act permitted the English to settle free freely in India. That's why this act is known as the final step in the process of centralization in India. Next act is Charter Act 1853. This act separated governors legislative functions into from the administrative functions. There were six new members as legislative councillors were added to Governor General Council, and it was called Indian Legislative Council was to function as mini parliament on the lines of British Parliament, and it also extended the company's rule in India without mentioning a time frame. For the first time, it introduced it introduced local representation in Indian Legislative Council, and four-sixth members were elected from the provinces of Bengal, Bombay, Madras, Agra as a new governor legislative councils. It made all Indian it made all civil it made civil services open for all Indians. This ended the system of appointments by recommendation and started a system of open and fair competition. So now from the 1858 the crown rule started, as by the different acts the company's rule ended. So the first act of crown rule is Government of India Act 1850 Act 8, and this act is also known as Act of Good Government of India. It abolished East India Company and transferred powers to the crown. This act changed the designation of Governor General of India to Viceroy of India, and the first Viceroy of India was Lord Canning, and the rule of the company ended, and it also abolished the board of control and court of directors, thus ending double government, and an office of secretary for India was made. He was a member of British cabinet, which was responsible to the British government, and this Secretary of State was to assisted by a Council of India of 15 members, and it was an advisory body with Secretary of State being chairman of council. And this act focused on improving administrative machinery as Governor General of India replaced by the Viceroy under Crown rule. Next act is Indian Council Act 1861. This act provided for the Viceroy to nominate some nominated Indians in extended legislative council. Means from this act provided for the Viceroy to nominate some Indians in the extended legislative council. As 1862, Viceroy Canning nominated 3 Indians in legislative council, and legislative powers of Bombay and Madras presidencies were restored, and this gave the provisions for the formation of new legislative councils for Bengal, Madras, and had more power than this. It also empowered the viceroy to make rules and orders for the more convenient transaction of business in the council, and it empowers the viceroy to issue ordinances without the concurrence of legislative council, and it also recognized the portfolio system, which was started by Lord Canning in 1859. What is portfolio system? In the portfolio system, member of Viceroy Council was made in charge of one or more departments and could independently take decisions and issue orders on the behalf of the council. Next act is Indian Council Act 1892, and this act additional non-official members increased in the central and provincial legislative councils, and officially majority was maintained, and it also increased the functions of legislative councils, that is power of discussing budget, addressing questions to the executive, and let me tell you one thing about the it provided for the nomination of some non-official members. What are these non-official members? That in two conditions. First one is Central Legislative Council, and second one is Provincial Legislative Council. In Central Legislative Council, it was by the Viceroy on the recommendation of Provincial Legislative Council and Bengal Chamber of Commerce, and in the Provincial Legislative Council, it is by the Governor on the advice of District Board, municipalities, universities, and etc. Next act is Indian Councils Act 1909, and this act is also known as Morley-Minto reforms. At that time, Lord Morley was the secretary and Minto was the viceroy. So through this act, it increased the size of legislative councils. Means legislative councils was enlarged, and in central legislative council members were increased from 16 to 60, and in provincial legislative council members were not uniform. Central legislative council continued to have officially majority, where non-official majority was allowed in the provincial legislative council, and more powers were given to the legislative council. It it also gave the separate electorate to the Muslims, and only Muslims could vote for the Muslim candidates. And Lord Minto became the father of communal electorate because it was introduced by Lord Minto. And the Satyendra Sinha from among the Indians were allowed in the executive council of Viceroy for the first time, and Satyendra Sinha was appointed as a law member, and it also provides a separate representation for presidencies, corporation, chambers of commerce and university, etc. So we will further discuss about the remaining acts in the next class. Thank you, class.